Good morning, Rabbi. Today's share is being sponsored by Ervin, Pini, Feldman, Meshulem, Zisha, Ben, Yitzchok, Ayzik, all of us Shalom, and by Yoeli Elkon from Lakewood. Lili Nishmas, Dvora, Ya'akov, Halevi, my grandmother on the yartzeit. Oh no. You didn't tell your father the rules here? By Moshe Kamionski, sponsoring in honor of his father's yartzeit. Mordechai Ben Avraham Tzvi and Avi Hillel and Eli Kamionski are sponsoring in honor of their grandfather Mordechai Ben Avraham Tzvi's yartzeit. And Zevy, Shaya, Danielle, Gittie, Esti, Mordechai. Aryeh, Bina, Miri, Elad, Reuben, Ya'akov, Ricky, in honor of the great grandfather's yartzeit. Okay, there went a whole email. And Mordechai Ben Avraham Tzvi. Shkoyach, the Shama should have an Aliyah. Shkoyach Shaya and Zevy. By Yosef Neumann, Lili Nishmas Yicheske by Moshe Zev. Rabbi, this was very emotional. How people take Torah and bring it into their lives and they do chesed. I want to show you something. We're very familiar, if you watch Zoom every day. Oh, Batzion's father, Lili Nishmas, Harav, Yehuda, Leib, and Moshe. The yartzeit was the other day. Okay, I messed that one up. Okay. So, if you're on YouTube, on Zoom, you probably hear a lot of Yoel Bergman. He has the honorary name of the CEO. He's a 14, 15-year-old kid from Chicago. And Yoel made it to New York. I want you to look at these pictures. Rabbi Sai, very, very emotional. Here's Eli Dykman and Yisrael Goldstein taking out Yoel Bergman. These are people that have jobs, Rabbi Sai. I'm not done yet. Hold on. This is Ben Kaufman. Yoel Bergman. Yeah, he's wearing it actually says Yoel on his jacket if you look. Jay Nathanson and Yoel Bergman. Where's the Mata? Your cousin. Yaakov Badner and Yoel Bergman. OU user and Yoel Bergman. These are people that have jobs, they have lives. And they're all in different 7-Elevens. David address. The poor parents of this kid. Can you imagine how many of these Slurpees he had? Benjamin Schwartz, a dentist, busy all day long. By the way, he's the guy that I mentioned on Meaningful People. So if you watch Meaningful People, this is the dentist. The story about, maybe I shouldn't show his face. No, block that out. We're not done yet. Yeah, he needs a dentist. That's why. He's probably the guy behind the whole thing. Avrameir Farkovich. More? That's it. So I want to tell you something. I was very nispal from this. Very nispal. Hillel Kamionski. No, I didn't see that one. But listen. You just missed your cousin, Menachem. You saw it. You watch it as you come in. I have a great, listen to this chap. I saw all these pictures and I said, these guys, Hillel Kamionski, look at this. I'm not kidding. Where's your head, dude? I gotta blow this up. Could you like zoom in on this? Hillel Kamionski and Yoel Bergman. It's crazy. Well, you just threw me off. Okay, I'll tell you why. As you know, my son wants a very, very small wedding. No one from Chicago. I don't care how close you are. No one. Small wedding. I called them up. I said, listen. I happen to be paying for the wedding. Cut me some slack, a little bit. Let me bring 10 guys from this year. Fine. I said, okay, how about 15? So how do I pick? I decided, these guys that went out with Yoel Bergman, I'm inviting them to the wedding. What are you, Taina? Hillel, you're also invited. You're invited. All right, book your tickets. And Mark Ashkenazi, who's behind the whole, whatever. Okay, we'll let him come also. All right, let's just read a couple quick emails here. My name is Danielle Abramson. I'm 10 years old. By the way, it doesn't include Yoel Bergman. It's just the guys that took him out. My name is Danielle Abramson. I'm 10 years old and I live in Johannesburg, South Africa. I really enjoy listening to your Daf Yomi Shiurim with my dad. I can't wait to finish Shas. Thank you for making my learning so geschmack. South Africa, baby. South Africa. We have room. We don't have time for another one. Wow. I have all these. Okay. Next time. Let's go. We got to go. Today is Daf Pei Beis. And we are starting from 15, 18 lines from the bottom. By the way, again, I'll say this again. I keep on saying it. If you want to get me a gift, because, I did get up early today to prepare this year. So if you want to give me back just a little thing, the easiest thing, text one of your friends to join this year. Join mdy.com. That's it. One guy. Just one guy. It's really a trick to get you guys the schusim. But whatever. Feel as if you're giving me something. Join MDY. Mendy, how many people did you send it to? Who did you bring? Show me one guy. All these guys? Wow. Unreal. I'm missing. Where's my thing? Okay. I need my pointer guy. I don't have it, but okay. It's in here. I know. Somewhere. Okay. Nachamo. Fine. Says the Gemara. We're talking about on Yom Kippur, if you eat things that are not edible food. A person who chews hot peppers on Yom Kippur. Now let me tell you, here we go already. I was in Shallots, the famous Shallots. That's the only thing that Chicago is known for. Shallots, the restaurant. And I had the luck. My father-in-law took us out to Shallots. And my father-in-law, I didn't know this, I found out later, he starts up with the maitre d' every time. He goes, give me something hotter peppers. To my luck, I happened to go that night that the he got one of the hottest peppers on the market. It goes with this Scoville thing, like a jalapeno, is 8,000, let's say. You could go up to 1 million, 2 million Scoville. Imagine, jalapeno, 8,000 to 1 million. So I don't know if he put in like this ghost pepper, something meshuga. And he didn't tell my father-in-law. My father-in-law said, give me the hottest. He said, you want the hottest? Yeah, the hottest. He pulled the prank on him. He put in this pepper in there. And I take the sushi, put it in. Like on Pesach, like you try to make your thing white hot. That's what it felt like somebody took a torch and put it on my tongue. For a half an hour, I was in such excruciating pain, you have no idea. So if I literally thought that there was a match or something, like, if you ate that on Yom Kippur, you chayiv? No, here it is. Because my father was laughing his head off and he doesn't taste anything. He actually put it on, it's not bad. He doesn't have to, huh? Do not send anything. Yeah, you can send me the sushi from Shal's if you want. Obviously, if you're going to be in such torture, you're not over on eating a hot pepper. What if you chew ginger? I happen to have ginger. By the way, this is for you. This is from yesterday. I was supposed to give this. Yisrael had a great-granddaughter yesterday here. This is prunes for him. Zangvila. This is what the Israelis think ginger looks like. We know what ginger looks like from sushi. But this is ginger. If you ate this, here, give this to Yisrael. If you ate this on Yom Kippur, give it out. Pass it around. It's sugar, but it has a zing to it. You ate that on Yom Kippur, you're potter. Meisvei, it's good for the Gemara later. Give me one piece for later. This is the halacha of Arla. You're not allowed to eat from a fruit tree for the first 3 years. It's Arla. It's awesome. I know that it's a fruit-bearing tree. Obviously, if it has fruits, it's a fruit-bearing tree. Excuse me. Then why does the Torah say eitz machal? It's a tree that has fruit on it. Eitz shetam eitzo upiryoy shava. This is a tree that the bark of the tree tastes like the actual fruit. What else is like that, Rabbi Isai? What else? Anybody? What else in Shas? But what does the Gemara say? Hadas. Okay, 8, Shatam 8, so your period shav. Have a oim is a pilpun. Esrog, hadasim, and cinnamon, he says, and peppers. The fruit tastes like the bark. So what do we learn from this? It's a fruit. So if we stop right here, if it's a fruit, what does that mean? If you eat it on Yom Kippur, you should be Chayiv, it's a fruit. Eretz Yisrael chaser klum. Eretz Yisrael contains everything. We have oranges, apples, apples. We have pilpulin, we have banana, everything. Says the Gemara like Kasha, there's two types. There's dry and moist. If it's dry, not edible. Moist is food. Hi, himlasa. Here, give me that back, please. One piece only. There's ginger that goes together with honey. The asim bay, here it is, right over here. Ginger with honey, or like we call it, ginger and sugar. Sugar with a little bit of ginger. This, the asim bay hinduya sharia, it comes from like let's call it India. Now let me ask you something. How could I make a bracha on this if it comes from India? Who made it? The Indian. What about bishalakum? Bishalakum. The answer is what? The answer is because if you take the two ingredients by themselves, you take the ginger by itself, you eat it raw, and you take the honey by itself, you eat it raw. So therefore, it's not considered bishul. You don't need to come onto the guy so you can make a bracha. But what do you see from here? The ginger, you could eat it raw. And if you could eat it raw, it should be usher to eat on Yom Kippur. Says the Gemara, again the same answer. There's two types of ginger. One is dry, one is moist. The moist one, like we eat with sushi, that is considered a achila on Yom Kippur. The other one, not. Potter. If you eat the leaves of pickle, that's a whole different story. You're right. I'm not going into it. By the way, I forgot to give this out. This is the R HaMerkaz, and there are people that are too stingy to print it out. So I printed it out for them. Here we go. Give it out, pass it down. You get to know different people from the daf. You get to see different Torah. Oh, okay. Yeah. They're all taking it. No. Okay. By the way, since we stopped, there's a big get-together today in Manchester. In case you didn't know, you live in Manchester, you don't know. And also, you shkach to the guys in Manchester for kicking Yeshua out of your group and telling him to stop bugging them. Halavai, all the New Yorkers would do the same. Come here, Yeshua, get over here. Come here, get over here. So you see that it's food. If you eat the leaves of reeds, sounds really, really bad stuff. That's why, in fact, potter, you don't have to go through the whole thing now. This Orah Merkaz is for after this year. There's going to be a little test. So Avi, put it away, please. Otherwise, I'm going to have to expel you. Who else is not behaving? Avi, this is the first time Avi ever saw one because, again, he doesn't have enough money for the printing, for the paper, for the... Okay, fine. Some guy wrote to me, it's not what you wrote, that it's the leaves of a grape. It's more like the shoots. Okay, the shoots. Call it whatever you want. The point is, it's not grapes. It's a byproduct of the vines. But if you eat it, you're chayav. Remember that picture? A guy put meat into the leaf and he ate it. Okay, so whatever it is, they eat it. How old is it before it becomes so dry that it's not edible? Migdalah, he comes from Migdalah. You're talking about Yom Kippur here. So from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur, 10-day period. If it's more than 10 days old, bye-bye, it's worthless. How you doing? Hiding in the back over there. 30 days, not 10 days. Tanya Kappa said the Rabbi Yitzchok Migdalah. Again, so we have a raya to him. If you eat the reeds, the leaves of the reeds, potter v'lulu gfanim, and the shoots of the grapes, chayav. Elam lulu gfanim, kol sheliv Rosh Hashanah, only 10 days old, vad Yom Kippur. Great. Next sugya. Shasa tzir oimurias potter. And the Mishnah says, if you drink the brine of fish, it's not edible. Who drinks a whole cup of fish brine? Disgusting stuff. Seems like ha'chaymetz chayav. Vinegar, in those days, people drink a lot of wine. There was a lot of as it aged, it became, or as it spoiled, it became vinegar. So they'll drink it a little bit. Once in a while, it could soothe you. On Yom Kippur. Chayav. Who's that? It doesn't go according to everybody. Masnisim mani, Rebbe. So Rebbe holds that if you drink vinegar, You're chayiv because it's drinkable. The Sanya Rabbi Omer, choymetz meishavas hanefesh. Vinegar returns the soul. In other words, it soothes you, and if it soothes you on Yom Kippur, you're chayiv. Says the Gemara story. Darish Rav Gittel bar Menashe mibiri denarash miberi denarash ein halach gerebi. Don't listen to him. If you drink vinegar on Yom Kippur, you're potter. You're not chayiv. Lashana, next year, all the guys in the shir, nafki kuli alma mazgu v'shasu chal. They went, they added a little water to it, and they had a geshmaka drink on Yom Kippur. Rebbe said you're allowed to drink vinegar. So, okay, he said vinegar. So we'll add a little water, make it even better. Shomer of Gidel Vikpid, he was furious. Omar, I never said go ahead and drink it. I just said if you drink it, we don't give you malchus, we don't punish you. I said to go out at L'chatchila Ani Yom Kippur and take a vinegar drink. L'chatchila miyamri. Hey, medamriano purta. I said a small amount. Tuva miyamri. I never said a large amount. Hey, medamriano chai. I said as is, no water added. Mozik miyamri. You just watered it down. You made it into a gishmaka drink. Come on, guys. You can't drink it in Yom Kippur. Says the Mishnah, the official Mishnah, sponsored by official today. Hatinoikois ei ma'aninoisim b'yom kippurim. What do you see from the story?
When you say in public, you have to be very careful.
Oh, that's exactly it. You're talking to yourself now. Gishmak. Wow, you got to be careful now. Says the Mishnah. Hatinoikos. Now, sometimes you feel like the Gemara is trying to trip you up. This is one of the cases. The Gemara does try to make you think a little bit. What's going on? What's a tinoikos? A girl, a boy? What is she? What is he? Tinoikos is a girl. Interesting that the Gemara is going to call him a tinoik. It's talking about a tinoikos. Tinoikos is talking about a tinoik. It's very confusing nowadays. Yeah. It's not right to have a child that's below bar mitzvah age fast in Yom Kippur. Aval mechanchen oisan. You have to be mechanech them. What does that mean, Rabbi Isai? Chinuch? For the hour. You add another hour. If they usually eat breakfast at 9 o'clock, you tell them, let's hold off until 10. What age? Whatever. That's chinuch. We're going to see another lashon called hashlama. Hashlama means, and we're very familiar with this, the year 2, 3, 4 before the bar mitzvah, before bas mitzvah, you have to fast the entire fast. That's called hashlama midrabanan. Let's get you used to it, at least a year or two before the bar mitzvah, bas mitzvah. And we're going to see the big machlokes, very simple stuff. Now, I just want to point out a story from the Brisker of tremendous concept in chinuch. He was once at, they say the Brisker of, a bunch of people say the Brisker of, some people say it's from Moshe Feinstein. He was at a play, there was a bunch of Rabbanim sitting at a table, and his son was climbing on the table. Sounds like the Brisker of's kid, no? Not Moshe Feinstein. So, I don't know. So, kid's climbing the table, takes him, puts him on the ground. Second later, weiter on the... So somebody told him, aren't you going to be mechanech your kid? So the Brisker Rav said a beautiful thing. He said, have you ever seen a 30-year-old climb on a table? Never, right? So therefore, there's no concept of chinuch when the kid himself is never going to grow up doing that bad thing. Chinuch is training a kid to do something that otherwise he wouldn't have known. So don't run into the street is not chinuch. Don't climb on the table is not chinuch. Things that he wouldn't know, mitzvahs, things like that, that's chinuch. Yeah, you could take him off the table. You're supposed to take him off the table. Don't call it chinuch. Okay, nice son in chinuch. Got to teach him how to fast on Yom Kippur by adding hours. Now, what is going on here? So I made a little chart here just to make it very, very simple. Again, it's one of these things like when the Gemara says 20%, but the Gemara means 25% because it's milabar, not milagav. It's these l'shaynis at the time of the Gemara, but not to be confused. In our day, we call it bar mitzvah. And before bar mitzvah is a year before bar mitzvah, shana lifnei, it's 12. Now, what is shana? If I tell you shana, it should be a year before. It's before. So what's lifnei shana? Means the year before the year. So lifnei shana means 2 years. Again, bar mitzvah is 13. We're not talking about bar mitzvah. So that's this. Now if I tell you you should fast shana, you should fast a shana. Meaning you should fast a full year before your bar mitzvah. But if I say lifnei shana, if I say before the 1 year, that means 2 years. And if I say lifnei shnatayim, not really that lashon, but that idea means 1 year before 2 years. It's 2 years is before 2 years before the bar mitzvah, and lifnei always adds 1 more year to whatever word you're saying. So shana means 1 year, lifnei shana means 2 years. If shnatayim means 2 years before your bar mitzvah, so lifnei shnatayim means 3 years before. Lifnei adds 1 year to whatever you're talking about. Yeah? I'm going to hold it here so you can see it. Hi, Yosef. Okay. We don't need a thumbnail looking at the camera. Thumbnail isn't looking at the shear. It's much better. Okay. So, it says over here that you should do chinuch. You should add hours when? Let's look in the Mishnah. Lifnei shana means 2 years before the bar mitzvah. The lifnei shnatayim means how many? 3 years before the bar mitzvah. So is it 2 years or 3 years? That's the Gemara's question. If it's 3 years, so just say 3 years. Why do I have to say 2 years before? It's extra words. So the Gemara is going to make a distinction. Some kids are 2 years, some kids are 3 years. In order to get them used to doing mitzvahs. If, by the way, Amud Beis is only going to take us about 2 minutes, maybe. So don't worry about it. We'll catch up. Why does the Mishnah tell us 2 different ages? Just say the longer age. You have to be mechanech 3 years before bar mitzvah or bas mitzvah. Chayla doesn't mean a sick kid. It means a weaker kid. You know, there's a lot of kids that are scrawny little kids. Those kids, they have 1 extra year. Push them off by a year. Okay, so that's why the Mishnah says 3 years or 2 years, a weak kid is 2 years before. Now, I want to show you the machlokes. I'm going to make it so simple. That's the whole thing until the Mishnah. Just the Gemara, again, it's trying to trip us up. It's one of those sugis trying to trip us up. Don't let it happen. Where's Naftali? Not here today. Okay. Let's talk about a boy. And from that, we'll understand everybody knows a girl is always 1 year before a boy. And a sick kid is always 1 year after a boy. A sick boy is 1 year after a boy. A regular girl is 1 year before. Right? Bar mitzvah is 13, bas mitzvah is 12. If a girl, you have to start fasting at the age of 10. So if she's sick, meaning she is skinny, weak, the age of 11. It's always 1 year. It doesn't matter boy or girl. Okay, so here's the 3-way machlokes. According to Rav Huna and Rav Nachman, a boy starts fasting chinuch at the age of 9. According to Rav Chizda, at the age of 10. And according to Rabbi Yochanan, at the age of 11. How easy is that? 9, 10, 11. Now, if he's sick, it's 10, 11, 12. If it's a girl, it's 8, 9, 10. Okay? Achamal. This is the middle age of a boy. That's why I put boy, healthy, great. If he's Rav Huna and Rav Nachman, they say he starts chinuch at 9. Rav Chizda says at 10, and Rav Yochanan says 11. If he's sick, he gets off a year, so he could start 1 year later, 10, 11, and 12. And if it's a girl, it's 1 year earlier, 8, 9, 10. That's the whole sugya. Let's see inside. Says Gemara, Rav Huna ben ches u ben tes. You see, what does Rav Huna say? 9. Why does he say 8? Ben ches ben tes. Because we're talking about, by the way, we're talking about a girl here. Just to confuse us, just to trip us up. We're talking about girls, not boys. So girls are 1 year earlier. 8. So 9 turns into 8. 10 turns into 9. So then why 9? Because she's sick. If she's a chayla, it's 1 year later, so he says 8 and 9. That's it. Okay, but you need to realize where we're tripping you up and not. Sometimes you're talking about a girl, sometimes you're talking about a boy, and sometimes you're talking about a sick kid. Or Rabbi Mechazis says, Ben Yud Aleph, Mashlimim in the Rabbanon. What's this halacha Mashlimim in the Rabbanon? That you have to fast an entire Yom Kippur. When this girl is 10 years old, in other words, 2 years before the Bas Mitzvah, or Ben Yud Aleph, or 1 year before the Bas Mitzvah if she's weak. Ben Yud Midrabanan. Ben Yud Beis. Why does it say Ben? I have no idea. Just to mess with us a little bit. But when she's Bas Yud Beis, when she's 12 years old, a girl is chayiv to fast on Yom Kippur. Mashlim midai raisa. Oh, by the way, we're talking about betinoikis. The Gemara says. Talking about a girl. Okay, thank you. Rav Nachman Omar. Rav Nachman doesn't argue at all. Rabbi Nachman says the same exact thing as you can see on here. But he is going to be talking about a boy now. So it's the same exact thing. He says like Rav Huna, Ben Tes, Ben Yod, Mechanchen Oizle, Shois, a 9-year-old, that's why I put here 9, we start giving him extra hours. Okay? It's 9, 10, 11, 4 years before the mitzvah. Start giving him extra hours. Ben Yud Aleph, Ben Yud Beis, Mashlim Rabbanon. Same thing. 11, 12-year-old have to fast a full Yom Kippur. 12-year-old if he's weak. 11-year-old if he's regular. Midrabban. Ben Yud Gimel. When does a person have to fast Midai Raisa? Mashlim Midai Raisa. Well, what are we talking about? Bitinoi, a boy. Okay. And finally the Shita of Rabbi Yochanan. I don't agree that there's such a concept that a kid has to fast a whole Yom Kippur. Never heard of such a thing. Kid doesn't have to fast the whole day. Give him a little chinuch, an hour here, an hour there, but not a whole day. And therefore, and he's also talking about a girl. Ben Yud, talking about a girl. Ben Yud Aleph, a girl, 1 year before her bas mitzvah if she's weak, 2 years before her bas mitzvah if she's a regular girl. Ben Yud Beis, Midaraisa, a girl has to fast when she's 12. Tanan, okay, so how do we fit Rabbi Yochanan into our Mishnah? Our Mishnah we just learned at the top of the page. If you are a child, we don't let you fast in Yom Kippur. What is Shana? Shnatayim? Lifnei Shnatayim, what do we say it means? Lifnei Shnatayim is 3 years before. What does Rabbi Yochanan say? 1 or 2 years before. That's it. That's the most he goes. If you're a healthy girl, you're 2 years before the bas mitzvah. And if you're weak, 1 year before bas mitzvah. So then why does the Mishnah say 3? Okay, maybe. I knew you were going to think that. Says Tinoik is a girl. But by the way, the Mishnah says Shnatayim. Okay. But you are right. It does say the Shtayim here. It makes a lot of sense. There is a concept of 2 years before and 3 years before when the kid is sick. When the kid is sick, all of a sudden the Mishnah is going to be talking about a sick kid, which is mamish. It's like a doicha kind of. To say that the whole Mishnah is talking about a sick kid? Okay. Lifnei shana l'divrayim. Lifnei shtayim l'divrayim. Elo l'Rabbi Yochanan kasha. But according to Rabbi Yochanan, we don't have 2 concepts here. According to Rabbi Yochanan, there's only 1 concept. There's only l'divrayim. There's only the Rabbanan to add hours. There's no hashlama according to Rabbi Yochanan. There's no full thing. So there's no 2. You can't call the same thing. You can't call 1 year 2 l'shoinas. So here, just not to confuse anybody, I'll just say it quickly over here. This red is 3 years before the green, or 2 years before the purple. Okay? It's talking about the same exact year, when the kid is 10 years old. But if we're talking about to be mechanach, to not eat the whole year, so it's over here. If we're talking about not eating, doing hours, it's over here. So this red could either be 3 before green or 2 before purple. Rabbi Yochanan only has 1 hour, 1 time. He only says there's a concept of shais. According to Rabbi Huna and Rav Nachman, they're talking about 2 different things. This could be 3 before hashlama. Let's call it 2 before hashlama and 1 before chinuch of hours. But there's chinuch of hours and there's hashlama. According to Rabbi Yochanan, there's only 1 thing, chinuch of hours. So you can't call it 2 different things. You can say lifnei shana, lifnei shatayim means the same year. There's only 1 category according to Rabbi Yochanan. Okay, but the point is, it doesn't fit into Rabbi Yochanan. So you're right. I have to change the Mishnah a little bit. I'm going to take out a word. If I take out the word lifnei, so I don't add another year, so then I'm good. It's shana shnatayim. It's 1 or 2 years before the bas mitzvah. Okay. What is chinuch mean, Rabbi Isai? Chinuch doesn't go according to Rabbi Yochanan. Chinuch means hours. Meshulem Rabbi Yochanan nicha el Rav Huna Rav Nachman Kashya. All Rabbana my chinuch nami diktani hashlama. Sometimes I could call the word chinuch could also mean not to eat a full Yom Kippur. When do we ever do this? Vatanya, eze chinuch. What does chinuch mean? It just means hours. Doesn't mean the whole entire day. B'shalosh, if he eats in the third hour of the day, feed him on the fourth. No, there are two types of chinuch, and the story, smooth sailing now, says the Heilige Mishnah, the official Mishnah sponsored by official. If a woman who's pregnant and she has a craving, we assume it's coming from her baby, and it's extremely dangerous if she doesn't eat, even on Yom Kippur. It could kill the baby. Maybe it could kill her. We give her to eat all the way until she's satisfied. If a person is sick, he could go to two doctors, let him get a professional opinion from two people. If they say he could eat, he gets to eat. There's a famous brisker Rav that a lot of people quoted during Corona on this. People asked him, Rebbe, why are you so makel on fasting? Everybody eats. He said, no, I am so machmer on pikuach nefesh. Because at the end of the day, we don't want people to die here because of the fast. There was once a chassan came home on a fast day and he tells his wife, I need to eat supper. So she said, well, it's a fast day. He said, no, I'm very machmer on pikuach nefesh. So she makes him food and she sits down next to him with a plate of her own. He said, well, what's going on here? She says, I'm married to you. I also have to be machmer. He said, no. My chassan teacher told me, don't force your chumras on your wife. Says the Gemara, V'im ein sham chaylim achilayis ha'pipikim. V'im ein sham bekin. And if you don't have professionals, the guy says he's dying. I need to eat right now. I need to eat. He gets to eat. He could say, I am going to die. I need to eat on Yom Kippur. If you have doctors, go to doctors, but not. You have to be machmar and pikuach nefesh. Imagine. PIG. She smells PIG. She needs to eat right now. PIG. Not on Yom Kippur. In middle on a Tuesday afternoon. If you take a stick, you put it into the fat, the pig's gravy. It's not as bad as eating pig, but it's still, nevertheless, it's the gravy. If she's satisfied, mutov. It's pikuach nefesh. Rabbi Yisai roitev atzmoi. You don't put in a stick. You give her a spoonful. You give her shuman. What does shuman mean? The actual meat. Mamish treif chazer for pikuach nefesh. Shein ein lecha davar she'oime b'fnei pikuach nefesh. Is nothing in the Torah. Hashem wants you to save your life. Chutz from the gimel chamurois. Ma'avodah zara v'gilui arayos u'shvichas damim. I want to say a sad thing. I didn't think about it before I said it. Maybe I shouldn't say it. There's a bunch of bachrim in my Shabbos table just a few weeks ago, maybe less than a month ago, from a certain yeshiva. They're not the starkest guys. Let's just call it not the starkest guys, but they're in a system. These are guys that grew up in Frum Chadarim in America, Frum schools. I asked them what the Gimel Chamuris are. What are the three worst of it? They had no idea. No idea. I'm serious. All of them. One guy said Shabbos. Together. One guy killing. No killing. Try it out. It's sad. So these are kids that struggle from a very early age, obviously. Aryeh and shvichas damim. I saw an incredible story. There was a girl that the Kuzakim, they took her out to the woods and she chapped what's going on. And she knew that the Cossacks are very superstitious. So she told them, I have a certain lachash. I could say something that if I say it, it's like witchcraft. You can't kill me. There's nothing you can do to kill me. A sword won't go into me. Nothing. Yeah, right. Yeah. So she said, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. And they took the sword and they and she died. She wanted to give up her. She said and al pi halacha it's okay if you not to be. We see it from the Gemara, even though as we're going to see soon, she has nothing to do with it, and al pi halacha she doesn't have to. But if she wants to, she could give up her nefesh. Avodah zarah, how do you know that you don't give up your nefesh for avodah zarah? You have to give up your nefesh for avodah zarah. The sign, Rebbe Elazar Omer, im nema b'chol nafshecha, lomar nema b'chol ma'idecha. We say in Shema every day, you have to give up your nefesh, your life for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If somebody says, do avodah zarah, you have to give up your life. If so, lomar nema b'chol ma'idecha. If you have to give up your life, so certainly you have to give up your millions. And if you're going to tell me that millions are more important than life, maybe it's not a common theme. Maybe not everybody agrees that a life is more important than money. So just say money, and then we'll know life. What is it? It's one of the two, no? If you have somebody that his body is more important than his money, you should give up your life. And if you have a person that he loves his money more than his body, every time we learn the sugya, I tell you about an employee of mine. I had an employee. His name is Tim Stachura. Worked for me for 15 years. He's a guy that loves guns. And eventually he moved on to Tennessee just like 4 years ago, and he lives by himself off the grid. He does his own vegetables and everything like that. And I had a thing with him. He told me that he needs a surgery on his gallbladder or something like that, and that the doctor is crazy. The doctor wants way too much money, and he's not going to have the surgery. I said, but you're going to die. He says, I'd rather die than give the doctor my money. So every time I say this story, I'm like, okay, nobody believes me. So I'm like, Tim, you remember that time? I called him up last night. You remember that time you told me? He goes, yeah. I said, I need it on video. Here we go, Rabbi Say. Tim Stachura.
All right, it's feeding time. All right, you'll have to excuse my rifle. There's a big snake roaming here that I have a disagreement with. I had to have a surgery years and years ago. And, this clown wanted to charge me this crazy amount of money for this stuff. And I said, man, I would rather die than give this clown all my money, So I did take all his advice. I had it done, and here I am. But it's still crazy. They just charge whatever they want. Nobody bats an eye. It's absolute lunacy. But because I'm a shtickle b'shugana, and I myself am thinking about coming to Lubavitch. But in all seriousness, it was crazy.
All right,
I was a good guy. Worked for him for about 15 years.
It's bad quality. We'll have to show it a different time. Basically, he said, I'm a shtickle meshugana, and I'm thinking about becoming Lubavitch, and Eli convinced me to take the surgery. This is the guy. This is our good friend, Tim Stachura from Tennessee. He said Mefurish. He said, I will not give the doctor. I had to sit and fight there with him. Okay, anyway, weiter. Next time you have to get, he is not Jewish. He's very, very far from being Jewish. I said, Tim, I once asked him, I said, Tim, what are you, an anti-Semite? You hate Jews? He goes, no, Eli, I hate everybody equally. I hope not. All right. How do you know that you have to give up your life for Aryeh, for Shisish, and Shvichas Damim Minalan? The Sanya Rebbe Omer. When a person, we're talking about a Naira Amurasa, a woman who's basically engaged, she has the halacha b'eshesish, and she's being raped. So the Torah says that she's not involved. You would think that, listen, it's a relation, and relation takes two. No, she's not a part of it. She has the same. She's equal to somebody that just got killed. Well, it takes two to get killed. You need a killer and somebody that gets killed. So therefore, the Torah has to tell us she doesn't have any avera whatsoever. She didn't do anything. What do we learn from a killer to the Ma'areh Marasa? Ella. We thought that we're coming to learn from a killer. In fact, we're learning a killer from the Naira Murasa. Naira Murasa If somebody, you witnessed the act, you're allowed to kill the rapist. You're allowed to. So too, you're allowed to kill somebody who's going to kill somebody else. If somebody tells you, you must kill another Jew, you have to be killed. You're not allowed to kill another Jew. And if somebody says, Baal Nair Murasa, Yeharig Val Yavar. And we just turned to Daf Pei Beis Amud Beis, sponsored for all who need a shidduch. I don't have the new lashon. But Bekitzer, you should go to tehillim.8mindaf.com for all the refuah shleimas and the Chayli Yisrael, especially for the MDY family. I'll try to get the lashon down straight different time. V'ritzeach gufei min Allah. How do you know that somebody that a ritzeach is Yeharig Val Yavar? A Nazi says, you either kill that Jew or I will kill you. You have to be killed. Svarihi. It's logic. Omar le, Mari Duroy, the governor said, Katlet planning, you must kill. Viloy, and if you don't, Katlin Elach, I'll kill you. Omar le, Niktalach V'lein Tiktoil. Why? My chaz is the dami the dov, the famous Gemara Sumuk Tvei. Who says your blood is redder? Dilma dama de'ahu garva Sumuk Tvei. In other words, when it comes to a mitzvah, talk lashon hara or else I'll kill you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I love you more than that Aveira. So I want you to save your life and do the Aveira. I don't care if you do the Aveira. But when it comes to Ritzicha, you have two human beings. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't say, kill, I like you more than I like him. He likes both of you equally. So you don't have that svara of how HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants me to do it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want you to do it. There's a lot of beautiful things here. But one story I saw, but I don't think it's a true story. It's on the internet, you can look it up. There was a guy that was manning the trains, and his train was coming, and he pushed the lever, and it didn't go. So he realized that if he doesn't get the train onto the track, it's coming soon, the train's going to fall into the river. It was going over the bridge, it's going to fall into the river because the track was not placed correctly. So he ran down, and he moved it manually with his hand. He was holding it, he was pushing back, he's holding it, and the train was going to survive. And suddenly, he hears, Daddy, Daddy. His 4-year-old was on the track. If he leaves go, the train goes into the river, 500 people die, and his son survives. If he doesn't leave go, 500 people survive, and his son, bye-bye. That was the story. It's a theoretical question. But there's different questions, and what happens, here's another question. What happens if, anyway, the Nazis are going to kill everybody in the room. But the Nazi says, if you kill that one guy, I'm going to spare everybody. You're allowed to kill that one guy or not. Think about it. What do you guys say? Raise your hand there. He's going to die anyways in 5 minutes. That guy's going to die in 5 minutes, and you're all going to die in 5 minutes. But if you kill him first, you're all saved. What do you say? Kill him, but you're dying. Kill me, you save everybody. He's going to die. You're going to die. You're all going to die. He's going to die anyways. Can't do it. Can't do it. But what about the svar of my chazid adam sumak? Over here, anyway, you don't have the problem of my chazid adam because he's going to die anyways. Why not? Kesef Mishnah asked the question. All right, Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful Shabbos. Motzi Shabbos, 9:30. Don't forget to text your friends now. Join mdy.com. Shkoya.